Well, like, here's the thing. This is a ploy to expand our runtime so that we get more view. Well, it's like the shit. So they don't pay. YouTube doesn't pay by the number of clicks because you could just post 2-second clip videos. But if we have a longer video and people watch the longer video, we get more screen time and thus more ad revenues. Isn't that right, chat?
I'm not monetized.
Isn't that right, chat? So I went on a nature sabbatical, a training arc, if you will. That's why it's been a lack of uploads, because I am the certified content slut. I came back from my trip and mollywopped everyone, won a box of Dow 2, all with Best Girl, the Goatsuba, if you feel so inclined. Starting out with our level zeros, we have active lifestyle Goatsuba Nakano. If you ever played Slime, you're quite familiar with this profile. She is a Shimikaze, pump something 500 times the number of characters you have. And she also has, when she is reversed, pay 1, rest her. She stays around until your next turn, and then goes to memory at the start of the Encore step, which is really interesting because she can die, you keep her around, and then you can purposely swing under a lane because she's very small herself. She's only a 500. But even though she's reversed, because it says sort of Encore step, she will go to memory, which is going to help us with a memory plan. Continuing on, we have another part of our memory package. We have My Memory With You, Goatsuba Nakano. Has a continuous effect. While in memory, it gives all of your copies of your finisher plus 500 power, which, I mean, doesn't really matter. We don't have a way to bring it out early. It's just kind of funny. I honestly wish it did literally anything else. But it does have, when it becomes reversed, put a card from hand into clock, search your deck for a character with Goatsuba in its name, which is going to be every card in the deck, because why would you run anything less than the Best Girl? Put it to hand, shuffle your deck, and this goes to memory. Continuing on to level zeros, with more cards that can go to memory, we have Flowers of Gratitude, Goatsuba Nakano. On play, mill 2, gain power for each character you mill this way. Which is pretty nice. Actually, I lie, not character. Character with Goatsuba in name. So if you mill 2 Goatsubas, she's going to gain 2k, so she'll be a 3/5 on attack, which is pretty nice. And when she becomes reversed, pay 1, pitch 1, salvage a character of the Goatsuba variety, and then send her to memory. So that gives us 12 cards that can go to memory. The only real problem is it kind of requires our opponent to, like, kill us. But if they don't really kill us, it's a plus on field for us, and we can also just always force memory with these 2 at least. Continuing on with our level zeros, we have another of our main plussing tools besides the active light style. We have Annie Yukata, Goatsuba Nakano. Her and her stupid fucking face with her mouth. God, she's so cute. On play, reveal top card of your deck. If it's a character with Goatsuba in its name, which it will be because you're good at the game, she gains 2k power. And then she's also a clean cut for Goatsuba characters only, so she's essentially a 4k clean cut, which is, depending on the matchup, kind of good. If you're playing against something like Hololive or all their shit's just like 3/5, then, like, yeah, it's going to be really good. If you're playing against something that has like a center runner, it's going to be a little rough, but we have 4, so it's not impossible to open 2. And 4K is just like a really good number right now because everything's just like maxed out at 3/5. We also have our Brainstormer, the Quintessential Quintuplet Goatsuba Nakano. She is a tap self-search Brainstormer, and she also has an act ability where you can pay 1, discard a climax to salvage a character from your clock, and then clock yourself from the top of the deck. It's a really good card, honestly. The second effect doesn't come up as much as you would think it does, but when it comes up, it definitely saves your life. And the extra pump is just, I forget about it all the time, but it's actually a really important feature of the card. For our last level 0, we have New Year, Goatsuba Nakano. While she's in the center stage, she gains a soul, which is always kind of nice. Extra soul early game is really helpful. And she's a climax swapper. We do only run 1 climax swapper. You could run 2. If you were to take anything out, it'd probably be a copy of this. But having the maxing out on the cards that can go to memory is really helpful. Going on to level 1s, we have our level 1 combo of the deck. It is a long title. Unparalleled Beauty Goatsuba Nakano. Has 4 of. During your turn, she gains 500 for each other character. So with a full field, she's going to be a 6/5 character. And on attack, you can look up to X, where look at the X cards on top of your deck, where X is 3 plus the number of cards in your memory, with a maximum of 4. So the max cards you can look up into is 7, so 3 plus 4. If you have like 6 cards in memory, you're still only going to look at 7. Top check 7. Grab a Goatsuba or Anyquint. Is it Goatsuba or Anyquint? Anyquint traded character. Add it to hand. Mill the rest. So you're generally going to have like 3 memory by the time you get to level 1. So you'll just if you manage to tri-field Goatsubas, you can go 21 cards in a single turn. So you're going to pretty much go through your entire deck, which is pretty nice. And even if you only have 2, depending on how much you milled or had a longer level 0 game for, even 2 will just go through your entire deck, which is going to be really nice. So your idea is, because you are playing Bar, which is what this climax is on, parting with a memory. Because you're playing 8 bar, you're going to be looping this combo pretty frequently, so you'll be refreshing your deck way more than normal. And because you're playing bar, you're going to compress yourself stock-wise, and because you have a bunch of memory cards, you're going to compress yourself memory-wise. So you're going to just be sitting at like level 2 and 1 for a while. Also for level 1, we have our auxiliary level 1, or one of them. It's a plussing level 1 as well. Beside you, Goatsuba Nakano. During your turn, if you have any card in memory, which is nice because we're going to have at least 1 card in memory. By the time we're at level 1, she gains 1/5 during your turn. She's going to be a 5/5, which is vanilla stats, which is not too shabby. And she's also a Rammer's profile, where on play, pay 1, summon a cost 0 or lower from your graveyard that's equal to your level or lower, and put it on the field. At the end of turn, it goes to memory. So if you summon something with her, if you crash it, the thing's going to go to graveyard before it can go to memory. So just be mindful of that type of play. But no, it is a very helpful way to, like, if we only have like 2 cards in memory, to like get our 3rd one for our early play and other stuff. But like, even if we already have our memory condition, it's a pay 1 plus 1 essentially for stuff that's going to die on its swing back anyway. And it also does help us compress, because we'll be sending more and more characters to memory, so you can easily get like 7 cards in memory for this deck. Continue on to with our other level 1s. For utility ones, we have class representative Goatsuba Nakano. When she is placed on the stage from hand, she gains 15, so she becomes a 6K. And she also gains, when you play a climax, she gains the effect on reverse. You can blind stock 1. It's kind of just like a filler slot, honestly, but it does help us, because if we use a lot of stock to do filtering and memory effects, we start to get a little bit of a stock crunch later on in the game. So this kind of does help us when we're in a pinch. Just like, oh, we need to build up the stock. Well, here's a way to just grab some. And then another level 1 utility piece. First date, Goatsuba Nakano. God, I wish I was Fudoro. During your turn, if you have 2 or more memory, which you will, she's going to be a plus 2k power, she's 6k, and whenever she attacks a level 2, she's going to gain another 6k power, so she'll be a 12k facing a level 2, which is a pretty sizable number. And she also has an Encore. So if you're playing against something like Alice, and you have like 2 of these, you're constantly threatening them, because they'd have to back up one of them, and even if they let one die, they swing over on swing back, you just discard a card, keep it alive. Hell, you could even Rammerus the other one and just threaten their board again, which is really nice. Last 2 level 1 cards are At Work Goatsuba Nakano. On play, you send the level 0 My Memories With You Goatsuba to memory, which does help us like meet our memory conditions. So like, you send 1 here through her own effect, and you can send like another through playing her. She's also a level assist, and whenever you trigger a bar, which you will because it's 8 bar, you draw 1, discard 1. not the best type of like bar filter tool, but like it's better than just not having one. So it denies us from like having bars clog up our hand and like refreshing with like 3 climaxes in hand, which is always nice. Moving on to level 2s, we have 2 of our Resolve Goatsuba Nakano. On play, if you have 2 or more memories, she gains 2k for each other character, so she'll be a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. She'll be a 14k. And then when she reverses a character, if it's a level 2 or higher, you can blind stock one. So she refunds herself, and she can get over like big things like President and stuff like that, where they just are massive like, oh, I'm a 14-5, well, neither of us can play backups. That's the fun part, because neither of y'all can play backups. So if you get over it, you're over it. And that's the only real reason she's there for, kind of just like an early play killer. Speaking of early plays, we have our own early play of the set. Quintuplicate traits Goatsuba Nakano. Full board early play stock healer. And also, if you have 3 or more cards in memory during your turn, she gains 2/5, so she's an 11/5 during your turn, and gains on reverse. You can send that character to memory. Really good at getting rid of sticky cards with any sort of encore effect. And combine that with the level assist and the amount of climaxer slamming almost every turn, she'll be a 11/5, 12, 13, 14k, which is, again, a pretty big offensive number. For our finisher, we run Special Goatsuba Nakano. On play heal. If you have 3 or more Quintuplets characters in your memory, she gains 1k cross turn in the following ability: pay on attack, pay 2, pitch 2, burn 2, which is pretty nice. So even if you somehow don't have your finishing combo in hand, you can still do damage, which is really nice. But because we're playing bar, we will have our combo in hand, and her combo is on attack, pay 1, burn 2. So essentially, you go into your attack. If you go into your attack phase with 1 stock, you can triple Goatsuba combo. If you have any number of instances of 2 over that, so like say you triple Goatsuba and you have 3 stock, you can burn 1 and pay 2, ditch 2 to burn 2. So you'll have, and her attacks will be 3 instances on this one, 2 instances, 2 instances. So you'll do 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, which is going to kill, because if Hololight taught us anything, just burn 2s are good. And it's a really good deck. Honestly, if this was like any different set besides Quints, where you have Itsuki and Nino, it would probably be like one of like the better decks of the set. Goatsuba was a really solid set or deck if you want to play something a little bit like off meta, because this is probably one of the cheaper builds for Quints, and still perform really well. It's super easy to, and that's really it. Hope to see you on the flip side, my dude bros.